This is Chris Harris with Video Insight. Today we're going to talk about user creation and management within the Video Insight VI Monitor. I do want to point out before I begin that to create users and to manage users, you will have to have an administrative username and password login to the Video Insight VI Monitor. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look here at my VI Monitor. I can find the Administration tab from the ribbon up top, and then find the icon for users and groups. So there's a bunch of users here I have in my list from some of the servers that I'm connecting to that already exist. By default, the only user you will see in the list is the administrator user. This administrator user, just so you know, always exists, always has administrative rights, but has no password by default. Always make sure to come in and give the administrator username and password, or give the administrator user a password. To add a new user into the Video Insight VI Monitor, I come in here under Users, I select the plus sign, and it's going to allow me to create a new user. So I'm going to create a user for myself here, give myself a little password, and then once I've done this, I have two options for my user. One, that user could be an administrator. If the user is going to have full administrative rights and be able to see everything that is associated with the server, check off this option, and then that user will be able to see everything that exists. If the user is a non-administrator, you will then have to come in, give the user administrative right, or give the user rights to certain cameras. These permissions for the cameras are going to be broken down into live video, recorded video, the ability to move a camera if it is a pan tilt zoom, the ability to listen to audio if audio exists at that camera, and the ability to download. Download is going to be your ability to clip those recording files. If you don't want a user to clip, then don't check off the option for recording or for download. Now, here in my list, I have a drop down so I can pick individual servers to give permissions to, or I can give permissions to all of the servers that exist as part of my VI Monitor. I'm going to go in, check off some options here. I also have the ability to come into resources. Resources are going to be permissions for all of the maps, custom views, and rules inside the rules manager that may exist at those different servers. Once again, you just check off that that user has permissions. They will be able to see that in their tree when they log in. Once the user has been created, you go ahead and hit Save Now, and that user will now be officially part of the Video Insight software. Once they log in, they will see whatever they have permissions to see. Now, I can also create a group, a user. I'm going to create a brand new user here. This is just going to be a standard test user. I'm going to give this user no permissions. I've just created this user. The user has absolutely no permissions. At this point, I'm going to come in and I'm going to come to the groups. Groups are very similar, where I'm going to come in, I'm going to create a group, and I'm going to hit the change button here to put individual users into that group. And give permissions to the group. Same permissions that I give to the user are going to be applied to the group. Once my group is created and I have my users in it, I save it, and then that group has been created, and the users that are in that group will have the permissions that exist for that group. It is important to note when creating users and creating groups that individual users have the combined permissions of their individual user and the group they are associated with. So for example, I created my user Chris. The user Chris here is a part of this group. This group has permissions to all cameras, live video, recorded video, PTZ, and the ability to download clip it. In the user manager, Chris has access to these 4 cameras live and recorded. But because Chris is a member of that group, the user Chris will have access to everything at that point, except for administrative rights, because that user is not an administrator.